Well, good morning. It's great to be back with you. I'm back in the United States, which I'm really happy about. I'm recording this. I jumped straight on a plane and headed to Milwaukee for NCAI's media conference, so I'm recording this from there. This is our last virtual class, which I'm sure you're excited about too. Looking forward to being back with you on Thursday. I've really enjoyed reading some of the assignments that you guys have submitted, and just a friendly reminder to make sure if you haven't sent the assignment through to me that you do so as soon as possible. I'm expecting, as the email said, to have 3 pieces from you: the initial Tuesday class piece, the more substantive piece about the strategic narrative, and then from last week, and then tonight's written piece. And please make sure that I have all 3 of them before we get together on Thursday. As I said in the first class lecture by YouTube, it's really important. It's a stressful time. We're all in the same boat together. I want to give the time to reviewing and getting to know you and how comfortable you are with the course content. And I think that you also need to pay attention in these early stages to staying on top of the course content, because now isn't the time to get behind. Things are just going to get more stressful than they are right now. Things are going to pick up at work, etc. So do make sure that you get me those pieces. Tonight is the night, if you haven't already started to tie the threads together, tonight is the night where you really will start to see the relationship between those 3 course elements in the title of the course: Native Nations, the global economy, and the future of America. You'll start to see how do the distinctives of indigenous development play out. How might the distinctive features of indigenous development really have an impact on the global economy and on the future of America? I've assigned you a video which I think helps supplement some of the work that I expect you to have read by Thursday from the introduction to the State of Native Nations. So do take the time to do that if you haven't already read that. And then there's video content from 2 of the co-directors of the Native Nations Institute, Steve Cornell and Manly Begay, who give a sense of what their research has found. How have they kind of gathered data from Indian country, and what does it say about what it takes to be successful in development in Indian country? So that's the kind of video assignment to kind of build that foundation for you. But the 2 papers that you're going to read tonight and kind of, I think, mull over between now and Thursday's lecture are papers which I think really helpfully paint a framework, paint the context within which we'll be thinking about development for the whole class. It'll be really valuable to you to spend time with those 2 papers, because those 2 papers will also create a framework for you to think about your first assigned paper, which is due just on the other side of the Independence Day break. So a very significant component of your grade will be based on your thinking and kind of application of the papers you're reading tonight. So it's really while it's not great to not be together and to have to do this virtual conversation, being able to provide you with the time to reflect on those papers in a little more detail is a real gift, and I think it'll help you as you move forward in the class. So both Sherry Salway Black's paper, The Elements of Development, and Ron Trosper's chapter, Traditional American Indian Economic Policy, both give really important frames where they're drawing together threads and really trying to say, across indigenous communities, what are the components that it takes for development to be successful? What are the themes we see playing out? What are the barriers to successful development? What are the enablers of successful development in Indian country? Those are the key questions that the 2 of them wrestle with in really interesting ways. And I think they show us that there are many layers to development, both layers in terms of the way those values are kind of played out. You may want to argue with them, and I'll encourage you to do that in terms of whether they've accurately captured those values. But they really talk, particularly in Sherry Salway Black's paper, about the layers from the individual tribal member level to the communities within a tribe, to the tribal level, and so on, thinking about how do these different elements of development fit together. And I think Ron Trosper's paper takes a slightly different approach to that, but also gives you an interesting sense in which the development context in Indian country is quite complex. And that's what I'm asking you to do as an assignment. It's not something I need you to spend a whole lot of time on, but I want you to write up a paragraph saying, if a non-native friend, particularly from a Western worldview, comes to you and says, well, what's distinctive about development in indigenous communities, development in Indian country? What stands out? Really, the answer to the kind of core idea of this course. Why are Native nations significant to the global economy and the future of America? What do they have to offer? What's different? What's unique? And that's what I want you to start thinking about. Go ahead and send me that email with your brief thoughts, and I will really look forward to being together with you on Thursday. As always, if there's anything you need from me, do feel free to email. You have all my contact email details in the emails that I've sent you. And I will be populating in Blackboard over the next couple of days and hopefully have things pretty well set for Thursday. I'll be populating a number of additional papers. So if you do have further reading you want to do in advance of the class or for preparation for your framing paper, then you'll be able to do that through the Blackboard kind of interface, and we'll talk about that more on Thursday. So thanks so much for your time. Looking forward to seeing you on Thursday, and don't hesitate to reach out to me if you need anything. Thanks so much.